Hey mountain friends, how's everybody doing? Y'all, everybody's my mountain friend. Now remember that. I've had people say, hey, I'm not from the mountains. That doesn't matter. Everybody's still my mountain friend, so I call everybody my mountain friends. But y'all, are you ready for some pie? Are you ready for a Tanglewood pie? So this pie gets its name from where I'm from. I'm from Letcher County, Kentucky. So there's a trail there called the Tanglewood Trail. And there was a cafe right in town called the Courthouse Cafe. And they served this pie, and it was called the Tanglewood, it was just called Tanglewood Pie is all it was. And I'm going to make it for you today. And the only thing that I'm doing different than the original recipe is I'm using a graham cracker crust. I don't care for a regular pie crust for these kinds of pies, like a no-bake pie or like a key lime, those kinds of pies. I prefer a graham cracker crust most of the time. So I just made me a graham cracker crust ahead of time. So all this is a cup and a half of crushed graham crackers, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 3/4 of a stick of melted butter that I just mixed it together and pressed it down into my pie dish. This is a 9-inch pie dish. So if you're going to use a regular pie crust, you need a pre-baked 9-inch pie crust, okay? Now this recipe can be easily doubled too, so if you want to make more than one, if you got a gathering or whatever, this will be, it's a really easy recipe, and it's a no-bake, no-fuss kind of pie, which is what I like too. So I'm going to tell you what you're going to need for this pie. So I'll set the crust aside. You're going to need a block and a half of cream cheese. So that's a total of 12 ounces of softened cream cheese, which I've already got setting out, and it's already softened. You're going to need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. You're going to need a cup of blueberries, either fresh blueberries or like a cup of blueberry pie filling, which is about a half a can. I made my blueberries ahead of time because I had some frozen ones. I don't have canned blueberry pie filling, so I made my own, and I'm going to show y'all how I made my own blueberry pie filling to go on top of this pie. And you're going to need 2 bananas, and they need to be not super ripe, but not, these have a few markings on them, so they're pretty good size. I mean, pretty good ripeness. So you're gonna need 2 of them. And you're gonna need a cup of heavy whipping cream. If you're gonna make your own whipping cream, it's gonna go right into that cream cheese mixture. And I'm gonna make my own, but if you don't want to make your own, you just need an 8-ounce container of Cool Whip will work the same. And you can do that too. So this is how I'm gonna make the pie. And so let's get started. So I'm gonna make my own blueberry topping, and I don't have any canned blueberries, so I did have some frozen blueberries. So I got a cup and a half of frozen blueberries in here. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice and a half a cup of sugar. So all I'm gonna do is bring this up to heat, about a medium heat, and bring it up to a boil and just let it simmer for about 4 or 5 minutes until it all comes together. And then I'm going to set it aside to cool off, and this will be my topping for our pie. So my blueberries have been simmering for just about 3 or 4 minutes, and as you see, they're already, I didn't have to add any water because this was frozen blueberries. If you were using fresh, you'd use probably maybe a 1/4 cup of water in there. But I'm just going to thicken this slightly with some cornstarch. So I use a 1/4 teaspoon, well actually I use a 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch and a tablespoon of water, and I made a slurry. They call it a slurry. So you're going to pour that in there while it's simmering. You always want to do that while your liquid is simmering. And this is going to be the topping for the pie, and it's going to thicken it slightly. That way it won't run all over the place when I pour it on the pie. But if you want to double this recipe, make your own pie filling. just like that. That's how you make your own homemade pie filling. And so this is going to thicken. I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes, set it off, and let it cool off. So I've got my banana peeled here, and what you're going to do is you want to put your bananas are going to be peeled and sliced and laid right down in the bottom of this pie. So this is going to be your bottom layer, and the cream cheese mixture is going to be your middle layer, and your topping is going to be the blueberries. Pretty simple, huh? So I remember having this pie. We used to walk over to the cafe and for lunchtime and stuff. I used to work at the health department years ago, which was right in town in Whitesburg. And sometimes we'd all walk over there for lunch, and you get a piece of this pie. We get a piece of this pie. So bananas and blueberries are really good together. So this is really simple. So I'm going to finish getting the bananas right on the bottom. This would be a perfect summer dish, y'all. Perfect for potlucks. So I got my good layer of bananas in there. Now if your bananas are small, you might need 3. But it looks like this is going to be plenty of good bananas. So there we go. Now let's get started on the filling for it. So the whipping cream is done. Look at that. So now I'm going to fold it into our whipping cream is done. So now I have my cream cheese down in my mixer, and I'm going to put in the sugar. And I'm using the paddle attachment, but you can use a hand mixer if you want. Doesn't matter. And we'll get that blended. And when that is all fluffy, I'm going to fold in the whipped cream. So I beat the cream cheese and the sugar really well until it's fluffy. That may take up to about 5 minutes. Make sure you do beat it really well till it's fluffy. Now I'm going to add in the whipped cream. I'm just going to fold it in really slow. All right, now it's time to put the your filling inside in your pie crust here, in your pie, on top of them yummy bananas. Y'all, this is good. Now, I do want to give a tip here, or just, I want to tell you. Now, the recipe calls for 3/4 cup of sugar, and I use granulated sugar. And I wasn't thinking, or I would have used powdered sugar. So this is one thing I want to tell you. When you're making these kinds of pies, this is basically like a no-bake kind of cheesecake type pie is what it is. When you're mixing sugar in with cream cheese like this, I prefer powdered sugar. Okay, powdered sugar measures the same. The powdered sugar will keep this from having a little bit of grainy texture. If you use granulated sugar, you're going to taste those little grains in there. So I did use granulated sugar, but I mean, it's still good, but I suggest using powdered sugar. And I wasn't thinking, or I would have done it. I would have told you, but it's okay. I mean, it's still going to be good, but that's just my tip. I mean, as being, you know, I've made quite a bit of recipes, quite a bit of pies, especially of this nature. That's basically like a no-bake. It is a no-bake, like a cream cheese type pie. The sugar, I think the sugar needs to be powdered sugar. That way it's all smooth and you don't bite into it and taste those sugar granules, because sometimes no matter what you do, how well you beat it, you still want to bite into a little bite of a granule of sugar, and it could taste like you're eating sand, and if you don't, that's not really pleasant. So that's my personal tip for you all, is to use powdered sugar. So when I share the recipe, I'm going to say powdered sugar because that's my personal preference, and I think it tastes better that way. You got a better textured pie. So look at that. Ain't that pretty, y'all? And spread it. And what I do is I just kind of go around, and because that blueberry is going to go kind of in the middle, and you want to leave kind of the edge of your filling kind of peeking out there a little bit. So I kind of make a little well type of thing here to put my blueberries in. There we go. Now the blueberries are going to go right on top. And you want to spread it around. Make sure you get it all. Get it all. Ooh, look at that. My husband loves blueberries. Blueberries, anything with lemon. See that? I'm just spreading it out. That way you still got that little bit of your filling on the sides there, and it just makes it look really pretty, like, y'all. Really pretty. So there you go. And it won't matter. I mean, powdered sugar is just sugar, but it's just been ground up to be a powdered form, and it's better dissolved. It's better dissolving in these kinds of recipes. So that's what I suggest, okay? All right. And I'm gonna lick that. So good. Look at that, y'all. That's a Tanglewood pie. Now you want to chill it. Put it in the refrigerator for 2 or 3 hours. Let it sit. Better it sits, better it gets. Put it in the refrigerator or overnight, whatever you want to do, for at least 3 hours. And give it all time to get together and chill down real good. That way when you slice into it, it's firm. You want that. But there you go, y'all. That's easy. That's an easy Tanglewood pie. And y'all, spring and summer's coming. You want some good summertime desserts. Well, there's your one right there. So when we come back, we'll have a bite. All right, so it's time to eat this pie. Look at there. Tanglewood pie, Daddy.
Tanglewood pie.
Yeah.
Bananas and blueberries.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Lord, for this pie. Amen.
Like it?
Very good.
Blueberries are his favorite, and he likes nanners.
I do. I love them both.
10 out of 10, bussin', as Kenzie says.
10 out of 10 and bussin'.
Bussin'.
That's good. Very good, y'all.
Yeah.
Try that out.
Yeah. There you go, y'all. Tanglewood pie. Pretty simple. Thank you for watching. Mountain Cooking with Me. There was nothing fancy.
Just good eating.
Just good eating.